Hello and welcome to a very special season of Virtual Touring Masters. I'm Ryan Cullen and I'm going to be your host tonight for this special event, the first event, as I say, of this special commemorative series. We are rerunning the second season of the Virtual Touring Masters, the most infamous, the most famous, most loved season of all in Touring Pro Series history, and we are doing it once again. So this season we'll be going to all of these places. Have a look at these lovely tracks we've got coming up for you in this season. Of course, today, 25th of June, it is Spa-Francorchamps. We're coming from 150-kilometre race here, so 22 laps. Not very many laps, but of course, Spa being 7 kilometres long, that is what happens there. So now, after that, we go to Suzuka, a similar kind of distance there, before we have sprint races then at Vitus Park, Laguna Seca and Pukekohe Park. The Pukekohe Park from 2007 layout, not the new one. Very much favoured towards the higher powered cars there, of course, after they go through their misery of Laguna Seca. Then we go to Salzburgring. I'm writing here. Salzburgring we go to next, which is again a feature race along with Brands Hatch and Trois Rivières, a very narrow street circuit, and it's going to be at night time. Looking forward to that one before we finish off the season. There you go, all the way in October, in 4 months' time, and that's going to be at Mount Panorama. 250-kilometre race is going to happen there. But of course, today we're at the Spa-Francorchamps. We've got the return of some much loved TPS drivers, people like JRG, people like Toby Davis, people who have rejoined back into the fold, as it were. People have been away for a while as well. Yunus Ravio has been away on military duty, and he's come back also as well, so fantastic to see him. He's alongside Rasmus, who himself also missed a couple of years ago through military duty as well, so it's fantastic to see those guys. But we've got some new guys, we've got some old guys. It's going to be some fantastic racing. We are into qualifying now. I am your only host for tonight also as well. Apologies for that. Keith couldn't be here. He really wanted to be here. Was really disappointed he couldn't be. But hopefully he'll be here for a couple of races later in the season. If not, we'll have the company of Scott Woodwiss also as well. So we're going to go into the qualifying session now here, and then during warm-up we'll talk a bit more about what happened in Season 2, which is the rerun of, and the characteristics of the car and what have you as well. So we're going to go into the qualifying now, like I say, and the fastest guys so far, it seems like, have been Toby Davis, Adrian Humm, Chris Butcher, John Monroe, perhaps as well, maybe Yunus Ravio, and Eric Tveit, looking like the drivers who are going to make the most, who are most likely to make a run at pole position here today. Here it is. Here is Toby Davis now on board. Well, not on board with him. Watching him now from the TV cameras, going down to Rivage, and he's on his first flying lap at the moment. The 30.4 is the fastest we have seen from any driver so far during practice. That was from Adrian Humm. The fastest I've seen from Toby Davis is a 30.6, a high 30 from Chris Butcher, and a high 30 from Eric Tveit. So it really is between those drivers, really, I feel. Robert Wiesenmuller, John Monroe, Yunus Ravio may get a chance as well. Ross McGregor, as always, looking strong, but never really in the hunt, it seems, those sorts of areas. But he's very strong in the race. Look out for that. Now Toby Davis making his way through the final chicane. Going to go now into Stavolo. It's a very critical section of track here, and it's very tricky through here. Very deceivingly so. You put your power out of here and there's lots and lots of room on the outside, but actually you run out really quick. Look at that! And that is exactly what I was talking about. Toby is really wide there through Stavolo, losing a bit of time on all the way up the hill here to Blanchimont. And people who watch F1 these days may think Blanchimont is flat out kind of easy left-hander. Look at this for a corner. On the brakes, fifth gear, getting turned in, narrow, no runoff. Flying through there, and now we go down towards the bush top chicane, and the problem with this is it's got a little kink there on the right hand side, and just as you get the car straight is when you start braking, so you really have to be on the money through there. You can't be messing about and start the car turning when you're braking, because that will compromise you. And Toby sets a 30.7, and that's an excellent marker lap, first of all, I would say, from Toby Davis. Well done to him. Fantastic lap there, as Wiesenmuller's 31.5 and Monroe 31.6 to Tveit there with his second lap 31.269. Typically, you would find that drivers only get one run out of these qualifying tyres. They're soft tyres. You can use them in the race if you want to. Nobody actually does because they're only going to last, as I say, one lap, maybe two. I think Eric can make his lap last perhaps 2 laps with the Rover's not quite as damaging to its tyres as perhaps the Sierra or the Holden or the Nissan is. So we're looking forward to this as well. The Rover here has about 350, 340 brake horsepower. Hasn't quite got the power of, say, a Sierra. Got 370. Nissan's got 400. The Holden's got 450. But the shape of the Rover is very slippery. It's a good handling car, much lighter than the other cars around it also as well. So that is the major strength. And of course, another major strength of the Rover here is that Eric has driven this now. This will be his 4th season in the car. And he knows it very well. And I feel this is his best opportunity yet to win a TPS title. It simply has to be this season for him. So he's one of those drivers who's retained his car from that season 2 of the Virtual Touring Masters, and it's the traditional Demon Tweaks design, as you can see in front of you there. It was driven by Dennis Leach in the British Touring Car Championship. I absolutely hate this livery, but Eric seems to like it, and yeah, it's not one of my favourites, I have to say. Let's go and ball with him now then, and see what he's doing as he goes down towards the Fania chicane. There's different lines here also, a little bit less aggressive than Toby. Toby is using all the curb, mounting all of the curb on the inside at Fania's. Eric just feathering the curbing somewhat. Now we'll see a difference coming out of here as well. He has to get this right here. Has to get this corner right because fast corners onto long straights are the Rover's forte. Look at that twitch he gets there, and he's not fast enough through there either. So he's decided to abort that run. Ross McGregor at the moment is going faster than anybody so far in that first sector. Now he's down to the tricky Rivage hairpin. It's so difficult down here, trying to get the car stopped and then turning also as well. So Adrian Holm through there, he was superb, magnificent through that corner, lovely, right tight to the apex all the way through pretty much every single lap. So look out for him also. Adrian Holm now is just in behind actually Ross McGregor. So we've got Ross McGregor here, and then number 15 Peter Jackson, red and white and blue Nissan. In behind you've got Adrian Holm in the black Nissan. So Adrian Holm black, Ross McGregor is white. That's not how they are in real life, that's how they are on the track. But Ross now into the finish again, looking a little bit ragged, turning in very early I'm finding here with Ross. Really getting the car into an early apex. If that's working for him or not, I don't know. You do rely on the rear tyres a bit more when you do that, but he is quick at the moment. No, he's not now. He's actually lost 7/10 of a second just in that middle sector to Toby Davis through there. So look and see if he can improve his position at least anyway. If he sticks to 7/10 behind, he will go up into 3rd at the moment, so that will be a good improvement for him. Looking through the standings for you here. Here is the next 16 drivers. Oh, look at that slide from Ross McGregor through Blanchimont, just where I was talking about how much of a challenge that corner is. And Ross now diving down into the bus stop chicane, sideways one way, sideways the other way. It's a really superb corner. Egbear coming to grief there. In the Rover some seasons ago. I think it was actually season 2 through there, so hopefully nobody does that today. And Ross does go as quick as Toby through that final sector, so the pace is there. It's just that middle sector he needs to work on, and he now will go into that 4th spot. It's actually Chris Butcher has jumped up and improved, because Ross would have been 3rd like I was saying, but now Chris has a 30.8, but Robert Wiesenmuller, get my words out, is on track at the moment. He's faster than Toby, so is John Munro. The Skyline is very quick through that first section. The extra power and they actually get up and go out of La Source and down the long Radion straight, really helping the Skyline. So now Rob making his way through the Fania chicane. Munro is right behind him, so we've got, here he is, Robert Wiesenmuller in the Bow Repairs car, blue, yellow and orange, where he's got an all-blue car is John Munro, and hopefully that won't be his mood at the end of this race. Adrian Holm is now going even quicker in the first sector. Well, there we lost all that time once again, look, in that second sector, and it was John Munro who lost even more time than Robert as well. Robert's 5/10 behind, John Munro is 7/10 behind. We'll stick with these guys and then we'll catch up with Adrian Holm if we go through. It's actually Robert Wiesenmuller has some traffic ahead of him. That's Klaus Nyring in his first foray in these cars, and he's going to get out of the way. No, he's not. John Munro is very, very wide of that corner there. If he sets his fastest lap doing that, he'll likely be penalised. Oh, and Robert throwing it through there. Klaus doing it also as well, but now he gets out of the way. And Rob was not held up somewhat, apart from getting a bit of a shock perhaps. And Rob across the line, 31-0 from here. That's a great lap. 31-1 from John Munro. Straight back to the pits they go. No time wasted at all. Adrian Hulme now coming towards the second sector. They've got 4 minutes. Takes 2.5 minutes to do an outlap, of course, so you really have to motor around the track. You can't be messing about in the pits, and Adrian Hulme has lost lots of time, and that's because Toby Davis has improved his time to a 30.4. That is faster than anything I've seen from anybody. Adrian Hulme with a 30.4, but was a little bit higher than that in pre-practice, and he's coming right up in behind Jay Adji now. Adji gets out of the way before Blanchimont. That's not the place you want to be in the way at Blanchimont, and Jay does a good job to make sure he's not in the road there. Adrian Hulme now goes down towards the bus stop chicane. Can he set a high 30 here? Very, very cautious through the bus stop chicane compared to what we've seen from some other drivers at least anyway, not least Klaus Naring. And now Adrian Hulme crosses the line, 31-0, he goes 4th. So it's a good time at the moment. He's got plenty of time to get out of the pits and do another run, of course. There's Robert out on track. He's back in behind Klaus Naring again. It's Groundhog Day for Robert. He might want to back off just a little bit here and let Klaus get some distance on him. Whereas we've got Toby Davis now. He's gone back out on track for another run. Chris Butcher's out on track as well. He's on an outlap. Coming towards the end of that one though, so we'll keep an eye on him. 3rd is Robert Wiesemuller. 4th here is Adrian Hulme. Like I was saying, 5th is John Munro. Nobody on the hot lap at the moment. Oh, just Eric to right. Let's see what Eric can do. Not sure what his sectors were like, but pushing very, very hard there. That was perfect, actually, corner from Eric. Right up to the anti-cut on the inside and using all of the track, and he's trying to float it through the chicanes on the grass. Tail gets a bit waggy through there as a result of that. Now keep it close through the final little chicane, and it's a 31-0 as well, so look at that, it's very close, 3rd to 5th. If Robert Wiesemuller had been half a tenth slower, he would have been 5th. And Eric goes up into that 3rd spot. He needs to decide very quickly whether this lap is going to be a good lap, because he has 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. He goes back to the pits now, he can definitely get a good lap in. If he aborts this lap halfway through, it's not going to be good enough. He needs to do this lap good or not at all. Seems like he's persevering with it. Chris Butcher was on a hot lap, wasn't he? Yes, he is. Here he is now, down towards the 1st sector line. And he's up. Fantastic 1st sector there from Chris Butcher. 1/10 of a second up on Toby Davis at the moment, and Chris is really turning it on. When he first stood back in this car, he was really struggling. He was struggling for pace, didn't really know. But it's all seemed to have clicked the last couple of occasions, and Eric Terweit is quick also. He's coming now down towards the Rivage chicane as well, so, Rivage hairpin, should I say. And here is Chris going out of it, so we've got the 2 main protagonists at the moment. And Toby Davis' lap time out on track close together, so we'll keep an eye on both of them. P1. Again, an F1 car, 1 shift down, and power all the way through. And these cars, you see them lurch around, struggling to stay on track. The base of the Sierra now down towards final chicane. Robert Wiesemuller is also faster, as is Rasmus Sala, as you would expect, of course, in that 1st sector. So maybe Rasmus is going to pull one out of the bag eventually. Robert Wiesemuller is 2/10 up in that 1st sector, so there's plenty to keep an eye on here, as is John Munro, 1.5 tenths up. Adrian Hulme should be coming through soon as well. Oh, Chris has lost all that time he tried to make up there, and he is way off now and will not improve. Robert Wiesemuller then. Stick with him. Eric Terweit actually was 8/10 down, so he's not going to improve either. And Robert Wiesemuller, so I question the logic there of Eric. I would have gone back to the pits and had one final lap on those fresh soft tyres, but obviously he felt he had enough left in the tyres to do a decent run here. And here is Adrian Hulme. So he's starting his final hot lap. Let's stick with Robert Wiesemuller. He is the first of the guys who was purple in that 1st sector. He's coming up in behind Tim Straub. That will not be helping him because Tim Straub is not one of the faster drivers here today. Looking where Tim Straub is actually on the qualifying currently. He's 34th at the moment, and everybody is within the 105% also as well. And Tim does a great job there, getting out of the way. And Robert is pedaling this skyline for all it's worth. 3/10 down in that 2nd sector, but it's still looking like a fantastic lap time for Robert. It looks like he could take the 2nd place from Chris. If he has a stellar final sector, he might take it from Toby, but I would very much doubt it. Ross is also quick in that first sector, but it seems like the Skyline and the Holden have an advantage there as Jeff Dobbin goes 10th on his return to Touring Pro Series as well in the old Peter Brock 05 Sierra. Robert now, bus stop chicane. Let's clip the, and he got a bit too hard there. It's cost him at least a 10th, I would say. And now hugging right on the inside there. And Robert goes second. He pips Chris Butcher to that third spot. Chris is back in the pits. Eric's back in the pits. Adrian's out on track. Here is John Munro. Where can he slot in? Keeping it very tight to the inside. And he goes second. Second spot for John Munro. He knocks Visa Muller down and Chris Butcher. That's fantastic stuff for him. Tavite is back to 5th. Adrian Holm is now 6th. And I thought him to be the most likely to topple Toby Davis in this qualifying session. And he's not going to improve. He's really struggling in this qualifying session here. 8 tenths down. Make him a 31.2. We will put him ahead of... No, it won't. Won't put him ahead of anybody. Won't even improve on his time at the moment unless he has a stellar final sector here. It's going to be difficult to best Toby Davis's final sector. Eunice Ravio is running well in the Alpha. Remember, the Alpha won here last time we ran. It was season 2. Oh, that's a big spin for Eunice Ravio, pushing it a bit too hard. The torque of the Alpha Romeo catching him out there. Ross McGregor's the final guy on track, pretty much. Of the quicker guys at least anyway, and Ross is flying through Blanchimont. He comes out and manages to avoid his fellow Skyline. And now Ross flying his way through, not as flamboyant through there as he was in his opening run. Will he improve? Oh, bit of a twitch there from the Scotsman, and he doesn't improve. In fact, he doesn't improve his time, but misses out by 15 thousandths of a second. Congratulations to Toby Davis. He once again takes pole here at Spa-Francorchamps. Reese crosses the line in 12th. And 13th is Lars Bruggeman, as you can see. It looks like everybody has managed to get in. Yes, all 36 drivers got into the 105%. That is a stellar effort, considering the time restraints and the pressure people are under in this kind of session. We'll be back with warm-up and a bit more discussion before the race gets underway in just a few seconds.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Hello and welcome back after that quick break there. Just to let you know about our partners Inside Sim Racing. Been our partners now for 2 years, and a great job they've done with us also as well, letting us use their forums. Make sure you check out InsideSimRacing.tv. Plenty of news and reviews on there. It's really an excellent show. So, Toby Davis on pole once again. That's very interesting. He does back himself to win this race. He is incredibly quick at this track. He has driven, I don't think he even knows how many laps he's driven in the past in the past couple of years at this particular track. It must be well into 3,000, 4,000 laps, I would say, in total in all that time. And it didn't take him long at all the other day to get back into the group. But here is the grid for you now then. And as you can see, Toby Davis on pole there by a full 0.3 of a second from the Scotsman John Munro in the Skyline. So it's two Skylines sandwiched by two Ford Sierra Cosworth. So Davis, Munro, Visa Muller and Butcher. We had Tavite and Adrian Holm. 7th was Eunice Ravio. 8th is Ross McGregor. 9th, I didn't quite catch who that was. It was Rasmus Salo, I believe. Let me just check for you. It was indeed Rasmus Salo. So Rasmus there in that 9th spot. 10th spot is Jeff Dobbing. So everyone's going through their warm-up now. Now we've got Peter Hennenberg in 11th. That's a great debut for him, I would say, for Peter, because these cars are very different to the Minis, which is the only other thing he's driven in TPS at the moment, him and Klaus Neiring, and I believe it's very, very different to what they normally race as well back in the Danish sim racing area. So I think we drive mainly front-wheel drive there. So this rear drive Skyline from the 1980s really is very, very different indeed. Reese Gardner there is the second fastest of the Holden Commodores. Remember, Reese is racing all the way from Australia. And remember, Reese is also a driver who only has the ability to use one hand while racing. It really is fantastic how he races these cars. I have utmost respect for Reese and how fast he gets them going as well. Lars Brugman is 13th, and 14th Tommy Oyala, 15th Matti Orban, the fastest of the M3s, that will please him, with 16th is Juha Tuunainen. The only Volvo in this series this season, that's despite the fact it was a champion in this season this is a rerun of. 17th is Klaus Neiring, 6 spots behind Peter. He won't be pleased with that, but he won't be that disappointed either, I don't feel. 18th is Pedro Amaral, doing better than he did in the last season of VTM, it has to be said, in that of recalcitrant Porsche 911. Jay Adji in 19th spot, Ethan Bass in 20th, with Bruno Salsifero 21st, Lee Palmer in 22nd, his return to the TPS also as well. Anders Nielsen just shades his very good friend Scheller Stenbeck into 23rd, with Ockerklint in 25th, he'll be quite pleased with that. 26th is also Daniel Beck. 27th is Chris Vickers, completely brand new, it seems, Chris Vickers, but he is actually from 3 years ago. Chris took part in this series, took part in Season 1, and the first race, in fact, actually, of Season 2 in the Mustang. This season he's back in the Mercedes, a little bit easier to drive, I feel. He's alongside Bradley Vanian, the other Mercedes in the field here today. So Sammy Shepherd in 29th, with Rosemeyer 30th, Andy van der Velde in 31st, and that's really a victory for Andy van der Velde because he was struggling doing 39s before, about an hour before qualifying, and it didn't look like he would actually qualify and make the 105%, so he has improved massively in the past hour or so. Andy Bernard in 32nd, with, it's actually Andy Bonner, by the way, guys, it's actually Andy Bonner, so we'll go with Andy Bonner. And 33rd is Tony Matthews, his good mates. So we've got I've got two groups of mates here, all together on the track, on the grid, sorry, should I say, with Tim Stroud 34th, and Merville 35th, and Łukasz Demelin 36th. Now, we're going to talk about a little bit about the drivers, the cars, and the differences between the cars. Toby Davis is in the Ford Sierra Cosworth. That's what you would all-rounder, plenty of torque, decent bit of handling, some good power, and it seems to suit most situations. Apologies, you couldn't hear me over the woman there shouting. But Toby Davis has 369, actually, I think it is, 369 brake horsepower in that car, and John Monroe behind has 400 in the Skyline, while Robert Wiesenmuller, of course, in the Skyline as well, 400 once again. Chris in the Sierra. Tveit is in the Rover. We're saying he had 340 brake horsepower, and Adrian Holm is in the Skyline. Julius Raivio has about 300 brake horsepower, but has lots of torque for a very small car because of that turbo that car has. The Mercedes and the M3 are both naturally aspirated. The Alfa Romeo has a turbo, 4-cylinder turbo. It's a complete failure in real life, to be quite frank, as people now get underway on their formation lap. And in fact, they changed the regulations to disadvantage turbo cars a little bit more, because turbo cars are obviously dominating in the mid-80s, and they changed the regulations for the multiplier factor, because it was all based on whatever size engine you had is how heavy your car was and how wide your tyres were. It's a very, very simple concept, but of course it was exploited massively by the Ford Sierra. It had full 550 brake horsepower from just a 2-litre engine, so that was one of the reasons it failed. But it was a very simple, elegant formula that they had. Anyway, getting back to the Alfa Romeo, it didn't do very well at all in real life. I mean, considering it had a 1.8 4-cylinder turbo engine and it had 300 brake horsepower in real life, the Sierra had 550 in its unrestricted form in real life. The DTM restricted it to 370, but still to have 70 brake horsepower more from just 200cc, was a bit of a failure really on Alfa Romeo's part, and they really struggled pretty much all the way through. The GTB6 wasn't very good either, the previous car to that car. Obviously they came good in the Alfa 155 in the early 90s, so that's that, goes in cycles, doesn't it? You've got Ross McGregor in the Skyline also great. Rasmus Salo, now he's in the Holden. You'll see plenty of him throughout the season, and there he is in that sky blue Holden. If you call that sky blue, or what would you call that actually? It's pearlescent sky blue. Anyway, that's a 450, I think it's 450 or 444, one of the two, but very, very much in the horsepower stakes. That's it's got obviously a V8 engine, 5-cylinder V8 engine. Didn't produce quite as much brake horsepower as the Ford Sierras, which was incredible in the 80cc in those days. And but really, this body kit you see in auto as well was designed by Tommy Walkinshaw Racing to make the car more slippery through the air. So it looks pretty ungainly, but that's one of the design features they made. I mean, they had to homologate it for themselves enough on the road, of course, also as well. It's a very heavy car, unfortunately, as a result of having it's over 1,400 kilos. It's over 200 kilos heavier than some other cars. So actually it's about 300 kilos heavier than the Alfa Romeo, for example, which is just a couple of positions ahead of it. So we really do get a big contrast there. Jeff Dillon very, very pleased. And I'm very surprised actually by his 10th spot on the grid. He's not raced very much at all since he took part in season 4, I believe it was, of VTM. But he started straight in. He's been doing some sneaky practice offline. We've got Peter Hennenberg there in the Sky, and talked a lot about that already. Always Garnet as well. Holding with the Rover there also well. So dominated by a few marks in front there. Tommy Oyala won his only race in that car. Now Matty Orban is in the BMW M3, the only 6-speed car in this series. It has around about 315 brake horsepower. Probably the best handling car, but many people seem to find it difficult to ride because it's very nervous, very, very nervous, and it requires a really good driver to get the most out of it. It's never taken a win in VTM history, so that's a bit of a shame. In fact, BMW have never taken a win with the 635 or the M1 in VTM history, so it's a bit of a surprise. The Volvo in behind is the only Volvo in this season. It's UR209, and in this season 2, we're going to run Volvo Go. That was a champion, Peter Dave, so you know how quick that can be. It's a very, very good point-to-point, point-and-squirt car is the Volvo. Lots of torque low in the range, and it's quite light, has quite a bit of power also as well, but not great through the fast corners. So look out for that somewhere like Trois-Rivières, those kind of places, maybe Laguna Seca also as well. But we'll go now to the front of the field because we're ready to start this race. Go on board with Toby Davis and look out for those lights there. They're on the right hand side, just below the right side. There we go. See the red lights come on the right hand side, and we're going to be racing. Away we go for Toby Davis has already opened up to the rest of the field. He can take his own line at the first corner. His own line happens to be a little bit wide, and now he goes through there. Everyone streams through. Actually can't catch all of the action at the back of the field, unfortunately. There's a little bit of lag due to the fact that Toby's so far ahead of the moment. But let's everyone streaming now down towards Eau Rouge for the first time. Let's see everyone stream out of here. It seems like everyone's doing well at the moment. It's gone out of control there on the top of the hill. Everyone doing very well at the moment. There is Andy Bonner just bringing up the rear of the field now to right. Is challenging down the straight. John Munro and Adrian Holmes after had a great start. Around the outside goes Adrian, and he gets ahead of John Munro. There is John Munro in the blue skyline ahead of us on board with Eric to right. We're on the outside now of John Munro. It seems like Chris Butcher has been left, and Tommy Oyala. What's happened to Chris Butcher? Let's try and quickly check in with him. Here he is. I'm not sure what's happened to him, but he must have got spun at the first corner. We didn't quite see it. But it looks like Oyala, Ocklint and Butcher are the losers here, but Ocklint is right at the back of this, so it can't be that bad. So have a look at see if... Oh, he's got big damage as well as Chris. Not sure what has happened to him. Maybe he's been spun and Tommy has hit him, perhaps. What's the front of Tommy's car look like? Looks a bit dented. It could be that's what's happened. Anyway, back to the front of the field. There's Toby Davis. Look at the gap that he's got already over the rest of the field. There's Robert Wiesenmüller. He's in second spot. It's a good start. As Adrian Holm and Eunice Rivio is absolutely flying. And they've all got past John Munro in the meanwhile. Trying to find out what happened to Chris Butcher. So John Munro, great start, but gone backwards quickly. He's actually third heading into Lacoon. He's now sixth coming out of Stavro. He's got Ross McGregor right in behind him as well. Right in behind. And as there is Rasmus Salo as well. He's going to range right up on the back of Ross McGregor. Of course, this Skyline is no slowpoke either. Can Eunice Rivio stay ahead and stay up with these guys? Because he needs to have just a nice trouble-free run here. I haven't had time to mention at the moment the fact that there is tyre strategy involved here. We will see pit stops. However, some drivers are going with medium tyres and hards, or vice versa. Some are going with hard tyres and hard tyres. Now, the very self-explanatory. Medium tyres have more grip, last much less longer than the hards. The hards have less grip but last a long time. And there is Rasmus Sall on the outside of Ross McGregor, tries to turn in. Ross is there holding his ground. And now, see, Rasmus normally would have the power to now just sweep past the driver ahead of him. But it's a Skyline. And the Skyline is the third most powerful car in this field. Look at the movement through the O-rings there, actually off the ground there for Ross McGregor. But now here is Rasmus Salo's chance. Run all the way down towards Lagoons. Moves the outside. Often the outside can be quicker here. But he's already pulled just alongside as he hits the braking zone. Ross is on the inside still. Rasmus is sideways. He almost held it. Contact. Almost in the gravel there for Ross. Rasmus gives him a bit of room there. He goes, lets him back through once again. That's good racing there. No big contact. But Rasmus was slightly out sideways. And Ross also didn't push him off the other side either, because they could have both ended up in the gravel trap as a result. Let's watch a quick replay of that. There we have it. He's got the inside overlap, but almost went into the gravel there. And back to the front of the field. Chris Butcher's been into the pits, by the way, and Toby is running wide at Puan. Oh, that was close to disaster. If you get dragged off there, there's no coming back for a long time. He almost lost it. Robert Wiesenmüller has now dropped it back in behind Adrian Holm. And look, here is Eunice Rivio right in behind Robert as well. I do apologise, pressing the wrong button there as well. I was so transfixed by this battle between Eunice and Robert, and of course Robert has to run off the corner. Eunice will find it hard to pass Robert here, but he needs to do so pretty soon because Eric Tveit is coming, and Adrian Holm is hunting down Toby Davies also as well. He's going to do a great battle in front door, and Robert has a big twitch through Bonchmont, runs wide over the grass. Can Eunice fire it down the inside? He cannot, he's a bit too far behind. He might get a good run out of here now, and he does. Flicks the car through, might have a chance about breaking Robert down into Lassour's hairpin, but then of course he may just get past anyway on the exit. Just Robert make a mistake. Oh, he's feeding in there. Oh, that was close. Very, very close to contact. That would have been bad contact also as well. Andy van der Velde is out of the race. He has suffered suspension damage, so all that work, and he has crashed out of the race. But Chris has been into the pits, and he'll be fighting his way back through once again. Look for him trying to get himself back up into the top 20. In fact, the top 13 were covered by over a minute last time we raced there in season 2. So look for Chris perhaps getting top 15. That will be his plan now. He may have to go rest the race on hard tyres, however, to make that make anything work for him. That minimal damage. Eunice Rivio lost some ground, of course, down that long straight. That Alpha is not quite as quick. Eric Tveit right in behind John Munro, Rasmus Salo, and Rasmus has got past Ross McGregor now then, so now Rasmus is moving his way forward as well. We see this from Ross quite a lot. He'll move backwards in the race but then go forward in the second half, and now he's back down the inside of Rasmus. Not going to happen. Into Rivage. Not normally a passing spot. It looks like one. It looks like one. It feels like one sometimes as well, because with a downhill braking zone, and then you go straight into the hairpin, and you think, oh yeah, I can go break somebody here, but actually no, really just really wide. It's an awful corner. I really hate it. Look back through the field now, and we've got Lars Brugman being dogged by Mate Orban in that BMW M3. On board with Mate now. Mate from Hungary, Lars from Holland. Lars is the second of the rovers in this race. He's in the same rover that Adam Egbeer rolled at the Egbeer chicane all the way back when. And hopefully Lars has not copped the curse of that particular livery. Interestingly, speaking about liveries, where's Anders Nielsen? There he is. He's fighting Ethan Bass at the moment. Ethan Bass has actually dropped a couple of positions there. He's made a mistake. Down the inside comes Lee Palmer. Oh, sliding. Lee just about keeps it on the track. Ethan won't have appreciated that at all. But they all managed to survive somehow. Anyway, back to Anders Nielsen. He's actually in the car that he infamously crashed into at Pukekohe in Season 2. He's really second. Looks like he was on for taking perhaps the win at Pukekohe. And Mark Van Niekerk in this car was sideways at the top of the crest of the final corner at Pukekohe. And he went slammed straight into him. End of his race. He started from the back of the grid in the next race and went through and finished in second spot. It was a fantastic drive. But Anders is back in that car, trying to remove the curse of that perhaps. Where is his good friend Shell Stenbeck? He's back in 25th at the moment. Chris Butcher is still way back in 34th with Chris Vickers. The Chris's aren't doing very well at the moment. There is Chris. Still has that damage, in fact. It may just be a graphical issue. With Chris Vickers has his lights on actually also as well. I'm not quite sure why he's got his lights on. It's pretty light out there, Chris. Anyway, Tony Matthews here is fighting with Andy Bonner, as is usual. Jonathan Ockerton has got past both of them. Here is Lucas Devlin and Bradley Vanian back in the Touring Pro Series, as well as here is Simon Shepard back in the BMW also. Sebastian Rosemeyer in BMW and Shell Stenbeck are talking about. Look at this battle. Tommy Ayala has caught this battle, and look at the schmozzle of cars around him. He's gone past Bruno Salsa Ferreira. Ferreira's now dropped it in behind us. There's Beck and there's Bass ahead of us. Nervold ahead of him. Lee Palmer has scooted up the road somewhat. And look at that for a switchback on his fellow Bastos machine. He's trying to just nip down the inside. No, like I was saying, it's so difficult to pass into Rivage. Just can't do it. Front of the field, keep an eye on that till they've set the fastest lap of the race. 1.3 seconds of gap. Wiesemel's still third. Livio still dogging him, as is Terweit in 5th spot. With Monroe there in 6th. Salo is not catching Monroe, and Ross McGregor is dropping off the back of Salo, with Hennenberg actually fighting with McGregor, as you can see. But Oyala here, right in behind Daniel Beck, and Beck is out sideways at Huon, and he's going to be vulnerable, I feel, out of Stavolo perhaps. Also getting a bit of a slipstream in behind that quick skyline of Ethan Bass, which is being held up at the moment, I feel, by Alright Neville, sideways also for Tommy Oyala. Now, here is Stavro. And we are joined by Chris Butcher. This is not the stage where they want to be talking to Chris Butcher. Chris, tell me what happened.
Cold rear tyres, lost the back end in Eau Rouge. Yeah.
Oh, was it Tommy that hit you as well?
I don't know, I didn't feel any contact. I had a little bit of a lag spike in the bottom of Eau Rouge. I was just living on that. I didn't feel like I got touched. I'll have to go and have a look, but I didn't.
No, I just noticed you got down to the front of your car when you spun and somebody collected you.
No, nobody hit me, I don't think. I just went off, and the way that the barrier is at the top of Eau Rouge, it sort of spits you out into the outside. Yeah, I don't think anybody hit me.
Would that come under a schoolboy error, perhaps?
Not really. It's not as if I went in too fast.
Nobody else crashed there.
Yeah, I don't know, just caught me out a little bit. But I was going to try and finish the race, but I was 15 miles an hour down. Straight line speed.
Yeah, you can't look too bad way.
And then the engine just let go going across the bus stop.
Oh dear. Well, look, and if you can't be so damaged, I feel even with the pit stop, you could have got back in the top 20 for definite. But well, lucky Chris, and hopefully come back stronger at Suzuka.
Hopefully.
You've got a bit of extra time to practice for that Suzuka, haven't you?
Yeah. I think I'll probably just go and drown my sorrow and stuff.
Okay, well, commiserations to Chris. Chris is unfortunately out of this race, but he'll come back stronger at Suzuka, there's no doubt about that. He surely has had the pace here also as well. So, thank you, Chris.
No worries.
Actually, some thrilling battle here between Tommy Oyala. Oh, hello! In the background! Oh, that's a big crash! Up in the air. Who was that? That was that was that must have been Shell Stenbeck. It must have been. Yes, it was Shell Stenbeck. Incredible stuff. I couldn't quite catch the delivery. Just like, here's a replay. Oh, and sideways is Daniel Beck, and it switches back the other way. Oh, almost mounts the back of his fellow entry and smash into the wall. Poor Shell Stenbeck gets going once again. Let's see that from his viewpoint. I realise he looks very unprofessional, guys. He's not used to it, but this is how we actually replays in R Factor. Let's go on board with him. And this is what he would have, well, this is what he would have been seeing. And he sees that sideways action. It's a pretty good slide, actually, considering. But then, oh, look at how quickly it snaps. And smack into the wall goes Shell Stenbeck. Hasn't completely ruined the front end of his car. Almost ruined the front end of Tony Matthews there, and then Bernard coming through. But that's unfortunate for Shell. He may choose to come to the pits now and get a couple of repairs out of the way, perhaps, and that will be his pit stop for the race. Back at the front of the field, though, we'll touch in with the leaders, shall we? Toby Davis and Adrian Holm are fighting right at it, and Eunice Rivio has got past Robert Wiesenmuller, who's behind him at the line, and here we are. Down the inside, it's a 3-wide situation. Fantastic stuff. And Rivio makes it stick. He gets past to right, holds off to right, and gets past Robert Wiesenmuller at the same time. Let's go back to, oh, he's been passed once again. He's been passed once again. Here we are. Here's a replay of it. Down into Lacoons. And look at the pace of that Nissan going straight past the Alfa Romeo. And out to right, tried to stick his nose as well. Venus was having none of that. We might muddy once, we're not both mudding me, but it looks like it has been mugged again, because look, positions will change on the standings, will still, this is a replay, still will stay with it. I was saying you can't pass into Rivage. Looks like Eric tried to, looks like Eric did. And it's a similarly forceful move that, oh look, I'll just get my words out. It's a similarly forceful move that Eunice pulled on to Veit there. So now back to live action, and to Veit down the inside of Wiesenmuller in the first part of the Fanny chicane. They're touching again, they're sideways. Rivio's kept him on the track. They contact Rivio sideways again. Rivio comes back across in front of Robert. Fantastic racing here. The leaders just hold off battling at the moment. These guys are battling. You want to watch this? Eric to Veit has managed to get his way to the front of this huge battle here. Let's go back and watch that on the replay. Looking back now at, this was Eric to Veit looking back from, this is what we want to see, into Fanny chicane. We're going to see Robert Wiesenmuller, there he is, on the right hand side. Contact there from Robert. Eric goes a bit too wide. Robert takes his normal line, of course, is caught out, gets sideways, hits him. Rivio goes down the inside, hits him. Contact there, Rivio down the inside to right, bumps him. That is absolutely excellent stuff. And none of them have fallen off the track. And now Wiesenmuller's got back past Eunice Rivio. It must have happened somewhere between there and the bus stop chicane. But I am absolutely out of breath, and it's only lap 7. Calm down, please, boys. You need to have a voice blend of this. Oh, Rose, they come. John Monroe is just lurking there also as well. So Veit looks like he's got a bit more pace, but oh, there's a bit of flashing lights going on here. What's going on there? Flashing lights going on to Veit. Did he just let him go through? Let's watch a replay of that. Who was that flashing their lights? Flashing lights isn't really allowed in Touring Pro Series unless you're just saying, sorry, go through, I believe. Something must have happened we didn't see. It looked like anything untoward to me. Oh, and John Monroe has now also passed Eunice Rivio, because I'm constantly on replay here. It's obviously down the straight. John Monroe did that. Eunice Rivio here getting his ears boxed. This is the problem with having a lower powered car. It's great when you're by yourself, but when you start battling, you really do get eaten up because you get held up by the guys ahead in the corners. They blast past you on the straights, and there's nothing you can do about it. In the background, Ross McGregor and Rasmus Salo have caught this group, and Ross McGregor has caught Rasmus Salo. In fact, Ross has been lapping as quick as the leader in the last few laps. Notice the gap has stayed the same, around about 10 seconds. Well, Peter Henneberg has dropped off the back of them in that Reebok car. Lars Brugman there in 10th, with Jeff Dobbing has dropped back to 11th. Started 10th, he's back to 11th, but still really strong with Matti Orban in behind him. Yes, Juha Tuunainen. Here is Pedro Amaral, much better than he was. He's got another Skyline newbie in behind him, and Klaus Neiring. 16th is JIG, been enjoying his return. 17th is Anders Nielsen with Mirvold in 18th, Palmer 19th. There is Bass, here is Ferreira, and there's Shepard 22nd. 23rd is Rosemeyer. Yala has dropped back once again. He's had another off somewhere, surely, because he was battling with that Mirvold Palmer Bass fight earlier on. In fact, Palmer was way ahead of Mirvold, wasn't he? So Mirvold has gone past Lee Palmer as well. And this is where Tommy will be looking to try and pass the M3. And looking at that footman, look at the short overhand that the Sierra has as well. Oh, he dips out from the inside. It's dangerous through here, it's so quick. He gets past Sebastian Rosemeyer. Just about to avoid his anti-cut on the inside. Here comes Rosemeyer. He fancies a look down the inside. There's Simon Shepard running slowly ahead of him. He's going down the... No, he's not. He's not. Oh, Shepard! Oh, he launches into the side of Oyala. Shepard into the side of Oyala. And Rosemeyer goes straight back through. But Oyala says, well, you've not kept a tight enough line there, matey boy. And goes straight back through as well. Also, Hockenson has powered his way through on Simon Shepard, but no, Shepard fights back on the inside. All Jonathan needs to do is keep it on the outside and put his foot down. He has 444 brake horsepower and he's making it count. Bradley Valiant in behind him as well. Demelin, now he's in 27th, 28th is Tony Matthew, 29th is Shell Stenbeck, recovering after that unfortunate occurrence with Daniel Beck. In fact, where's Daniel Beck gone? Out of the race. He's had another crash. Chris Vickers 31st, while Rhys Garner's a lap down. What's happened to him? Oh, his car looks very second-hand indeed. We'll be selling many of those in Australia. These are the drivers out of the race, back to the front of the field. Not seen too much of these guys. The gap has been around about a second. It got back to 0.4 at one point when this battle was raging. Wiesenmüller is still ahead of Tveit, and Monroe and Rivio have dropped off the back of Wiesenmüller and Tveit now. So these guys are beginning to suffer just a little bit. Might see pit stop soon. Might see pit stop soon. And people might be short stint in the first stint and long stint in the second. Most common strategy we'll see is everyone pit around about lap 11 or 14. I'll be surprised if lots of drivers pit on this, but I'll keep my eye out for you, see if I can see anybody actually pitting. Rasmus just about holding off Ross McGregor here. It's a fantastic battle between these two boys. They'll be enjoying it. Kept themselves clean also at the moment. But Toby Davis is under huge pressure now from Adrian Holm. Look at this. Right in behind is Adrian. Toby got a great exit there from the final chicane now though. But this is all about Davis and Holm. It really is. And it may even come down to tyre strategy and whoever has a good pit stop as well. Holm was muting the fact that he was running mediums on the front and hards on the rear. I don't know whether he actually has done that or not. Apparently it is very fast but can become very unpredictable as the run goes on. So I'm not sure. There's no way for us to tell, unfortunately. It would be wonderful if we could tell. Great for the commentary and for the coverage, but it's not a way to tell, unfortunately. I think Toby's made a mistake on that lap. He's back to a 2:34 look, and John Monroe himself actually gained him by 0.6 of a second. This is what has helped Adrian Holm, and Adrian's looking dangerous down this straight. This is where it's going to be. Look at that slide from Toby Davis. That really was stylish. And it looks like he's out of control. But really, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's in his car so often. He knows the exact bite point of the car. And when is the point where it won't come back once again. And look at Toby Davis. He's sideways everywhere at the moment. That's not doing his tyres any good at all. He does need to calm it down just a little bit, I feel, but he's trying very, very hard indeed. Sideways out of the corner, which apparently has no name, but is also apparently called Bruxelles. And now, look, that's Toby's line through there. He uses the curb on the outside just to angle the car into Pouan, and he does it better than anybody else, as you can see. But Adrian's running hard also as well. Look, he may make a move down here to find... No, he doesn't. He doesn't think better of it. This is what you see at the front of the field. A bit further back, you'd see a dive. 20th place, you'd see a dive. It's all for the World Championship there. But when it's actually for the World Championship, they take their time. A bit more measured. And Adrian knows Toby's struggling here because Toby is sideways absolutely everywhere. He may have gone mediums in his first stint and is losing grip at the moment. And that could be why he's pushing the car as hard as he can just to get every last drop out of them. Or it could be he's just struggling. Adrian is menacing in behind. Nissan Skyline HR30, and again Toby Davis is far too sideways, and here we go. Toby's never gives up without a fight, and he holds the inside, clips the curve sideways, clipping the curve there, clipping the curve there, hugging the camber through now onto their 10th lap. 9 laps down, another 13 to go. What a race this has been so far. I'm absolutely worn out. Oh, Adrian stuck his nose in. That's dangerous. That you're not actually trying to pass there in that situation. Just show that situation once again. This is where you're not actually trying to pass. It just happens to be that the person ahead of you is a bit slower than you anticipate. You just take a normal line, you slide in there. There you are. You're on the apex. Oh, the other person, and you almost take them out. And it actually ends up disadvantaging you. But if he's gone past Toby. He has gone past. I knew that would happen there. Show the replay. He has gone past Toby Davis. Go back and watch that on the replay. Here we go. It's through a rouge. We saw before how much Adrian was gaining through a rouge. And Toby sideways off the top of the car. Wouldn't settle, look. And Adrian got a beautiful slipstream and zoomed straight past. Oh, he almost went on the grass on the outside. It's incredible how much of a corner that particular kink is in these cars. But Toby right in behind Adrian home now. And Toby looks like he's up against it. Tyre conservation is definitely not as good as Adrian Holmes. Look at the car sideways ever. It's great. Oh, look at Adrian. He's sideways as well. Oh, and Toby almost takes him out. Almost takes him out with a question mark there. If he had taken him out, who was at fault? But these two are battling, and Wiesenmuller and Tveit have gained a second on them, as has Munro. So look out for that. So these two start battling again, and Davis will do that. Here we go, on the outside, and always trying to take it. He has. That's a great move. Will he make it stick at the inside? He does. It's a switch back once again for Adrian Holm. Now Adrian looking for the exit from Stavro. Not going to happen there. Look like it will happen here either. Lots of curb taken there by Adrian. It's a bit too greedy in fact. So just should him out wide. And look, that's gone down 4.7. It was 6.5 just a couple of laps ago. Those guys in 3rd and 4th are loving this. They've stopped battling in fact. It seems like they're working together, Robert and Eric. Realise they've let the guys ahead get too far away. It's really helping them. There's the rest of the standings for you. And we watch the first place battle. Look at the line that Toby has with that. Really is magnificent. He uses the low down torque of that car. And Adrian into the pits. So Adrian going to the pits. He's going for the overlap. Oh, gone the wrong way on the old numpad there. And Adrian into the pits. There he stops. And away he'll go in just a few seconds time. Where will he drop back into? It's 1.4 seconds behind, as you can see. So this will give us an idea of how much a pit stop is costing them at the moment. 8.7 seconds, that's a good stop. And away he goes. And look out for his split time. He drops back in behind Ross McGregor. Nice bit clear air, in fact, pretty much, as long as Ross pits fairly soon, which he probably will. That was end of lap 10, so it was 1 lap earlier than halfway. Looking for the undercut. It's sneaky, but it can work. And this Ravio into the pits as well, the 8th spot. Adrian's not going for mediums in this run, or not all mediums at least anyway. That's for sure. Nobody's going to do 12 laps on medium tyres. A big mistake to do that anyway. So it drops you about 12 seconds in the pits. 12 seconds in the pits, that drops you. So that will be key as we go through here. So we didn't lose any time to Robert Wiesenmuller through there, so we can assume he did a good first sector as well. So 12 seconds looks to be fairly accurate. And pit speed is about 130 kilometers an hour, 80 miles an hour. Of course, you can go much faster back in the old days, the good old days. Salo has been into the pits as well. I believe... he's dropped back. I believe he's been into the pits at least. Oh, right ahead of Lars Brugman. These two are good bedfellows. He's actually struggling at the moment with Rasmus. Whether that's cold tyres or whether he's actually made a mistake, I'm not quite sure. But doing his hardest at the moment. There's Toby, still sliding the car around. It's a good job those tyres aren't for resale. Let's see the split back to Wiesenmüller. Is Wiesenmüller gaining? He's not. Exactly the same so far this entire lap to Toby Davies. It's 4.7 seconds. Is Adrian Holm gaining? It's the big question. No, exactly the same middle sector as well as Toby Davies. So Toby's pushed really hard on his in-lap here. It's been a fantastic in-lap, I think. At the moment, at least, anyway. You want to go straight on here. That's for sure. Flicks the car through. Uses the torque of that engine. And now, we'll dive into the pits. Almost certainly, yes, there he goes. Into the pits. As the car slowed down. Zooms into his pit stall. There he is. Eric Tveit is carrying on, as is Robert Wiesenmüller. So, this could be a medium strategy from these two. This could be 14, 15 laps on hards. This is what Eric told me, 16 laps on hards he'd do, with 6 laps of mediums. I think Robert's looking for 15 and 7 perhaps. But Toby's come out just behind Adrian Holm. There we go. It's actually, the undercut has worked, and Toby's come out behind Adrian Holm. Just picked to it, but of course he's got 1 lap fresher tyres now. And he'll be, Toby will be hoping that Ross McGregor ahead of him is not pitting for a couple of laps, so that he can just catch up a little bit. Jeff Dobbin into the pits as well. Good pit stop from him. Monroe's pitted. And he's got Rivo right behind him. So Rivo's had a good stop here. Rivo's gained on Monroe. Not going down this straight, of course. So frustrating when you've got a good handling car but low powered. See how much he closes. Braking. He's got warm tyres now also as well. These cars on cold tyres are not pleasant things to drive at all, right? Opening laps on these cars can be very, very treacherous indeed, as demonstrated by Chris Butcher, who went off at Eau Rouge on the very first lap. It seemed like the only driver to do so. Perhaps Tommy Oyala was caught up in that in some way, because he was way back as well. And Monroe is struggling a bit on these cold tyres at the moment. Of course, that is in the twisty section where Rival will be quick. And look at this guy just pull away down the straight. Vickers into the pits. That's a longer pit stop than it should have been. He may not have asked for the pits to get pit crew to get rid of him. That's about 5 seconds longer. That's what usually happens on Monroe. He's struggling. It's Rival's opportunity. He makes a little bit of a feint. Monroe just holds the inside slightly, kind of the middle of the road. You're not really compromising yourself too much, but you're making darn well sure that the person isn't going to dive down the inside. Now that's a bit too defensive there from Monroe, because that is what Eunice Rivo can do. Just go straight back on the inside. Thanks, John. Now John should have the run down here though. What Rivo needs to do is hold to the inside here if he can. Make sure he holds the inside. He can't quite do. Look at the power of that skyline. It's so dispiriting. But here comes these three. Oh, this is dangerous stuff down the inside. Oh, that was very tight indeed. And I would not have liked to have been Ross McGregor. I think Ross now needs a new pair of pants, and Toby Davies owes him them. That's scary stuff. Let's just stay with this battle just for a few seconds here. Not going to change the moment. So look back on the replay. Oh my goodness me. Back. Oh, it's gone a long way here. But there is Toby Davies, and there is Toby Davies, and you will see him appear on the right hand side here, and there he is. Oh, that was very, very tight indeed. We cannot get through right into the stop chicane. I'm not quite sure how they did it, but that shows how determined Toby was to keep up with these guys. Now Ross is looking back down the inside of Toby here, not seriously down the inside, doesn't have quite the tyre life of these guys ahead of him, I don't think. But that was crucial for Toby though, because he couldn't spend, half a lap behind Ross McGregor. He lost himself around about at least half a second to a second. It was crucial he kept up with Adrian Holm. He just needs to calm it down in the place at the moment, Toby. Very sideways. That's a bit better. Home very sideways as well, however. Onto the grass they go. 29's been in the pits. Oh, that's a long pit stop for him. Obviously had some damage, or forgot to turn off the repair damage button. Here's the rest of the field for you. Top 32 anyway, well 17th to 32nd. And here's the leader of the race still. It's Robert Wiesenmüller. These two have banged their heads together and thought, right, we're going longer in this race. Let's stop battling and let's conserve our tyres. Put ourselves in a good position for the rest of the race. Look out for when these guys pit. Could see Ross McGregor, the canny operator here as well, and put on medium tyres for the final 6 laps. You might find that the medium tyres are around about 1.5 to 2 seconds quicker at the end of the race in those final 6 laps perhaps. So they could make up 12 seconds. At the moment, these guys are 5 seconds behind the battle for the lead. Of course, if they put mediums on, they've got a real fighting chance. You need to make no mistakes, of course. Mistakes cost you races. This could be a winning strategy. This could be fascinating. This really, really is. This is turning out to be a fantastic race at the moment. Just to set the scene for you, 1 and 2, Robert Wiesenmüller and Eric de Veit are going longer on their stint, and I believe they're going for medium tyres for the final maybe 6-7 laps of the race, which could give them at least a second a lap for those set of laps, which means it's going to be very close indeed, because they'll lose 12 seconds in the pits, gain 7. So they'll lose 5 overall, in theory you could say, and they're currently 7 ahead, so it's going to be very good indeed. Of course, they'll have to pass on the track also as well. They may even stay out. They've got a 7-second gap with 8 laps to go. As long as they don't give up less than a second lap, they're golden. But of course, you get towards the end of the run, the tyres start to taper off even more and more and more. So giving up a second a lap at the moment here, going to give up much more at the end of the race. I don't think will happen, because at the moment, Hulman's taken 6 tenths out of him in that first sector. And Hulman and Toby Davis are really flying here at the moment. Giaggi's been in the pits as well. 11.2 second pit stop for him. And he's out once again. He's going to be out in 16th spot, I believe. Oyala's dragged himself up into 17th. Anybody else had some issues here? Gardner's back up to 29th. Says he's a lap behind, but I don't believe he is actually a lap behind. Just means he's not got to the next sector point before we got to the sector point. I can't get my words out here. The timing works that if the person is at the sector point before the leader gets to his next sector point, it counts as a lap down, but not actually a lap down, I don't believe. So Reese, he could perhaps go to the end of the race. He may have pitted early there and made sure. There you go. Not actually a lap down. He's got to the end of one of those sectors now then. And actually, Ethan Bass is plummeting through the field. Let's find out what's happened to him. There is 31st into the pit. So, well, he's not done very well at all. He's going to be last here. There goes Andy Bernard through. He's lost tabs on his teammate Tony Matthews. Ethan Bass, there he goes. 42nd pit stop. Not good for him. Chris Vickers, again, still with his lights on. Not sure who. He's not actually those lights on now. He's got white, very, very white headlight sticker on. Look at that. I'm sure he had his headlights on before, though. I'm not so certain. Now, Chris down the inside of Łukasz Demolin. And he gets it done. There's Tony Matthews ahead of him, so that's his next victim. And then Reese Gardner ahead of him. Look at Reese's car. Really is a mess. He's hit something very hard indeed. Probably a rouge, I would say. Back to the front of the field. The Vice has passed Robert Wiesenmüller. So Wiesenmüller could just be tailing off a little bit here. Adrian Holm is only 5 seconds behind these guys now then. So Holm has gained 2 seconds on those guys in that lap alone. In fact, 2.6 seconds. So they need to pit and put mediums on to be in with a chance of winning this race. And Wiesenmüller's going straight past Eric de Veit once again. Not sure Eric wanted that actually, so they're not working together anymore. It's becoming serious. We've got 1 lap 15, 7 laps to go at the end of this. We might see one of these guys pit at the end of this lap. And look at the sideways action, it's beautiful stuff. Almost 4.4 seconds behind now. Look at the sideways action for him. Toby Davis right in behind. can't quite get close enough to make a move. Maybe being patient, but that's not a trait of Toby. Not an MO, I would say. Rivio has got past John Munro and has gapped him. So Munro has struggled after that pit stop, and Rivio has now gone through, and Sarlo is gaining. Brugman in 9th, Hennenberg in 10th. He's charging after Brugman. Brugman must have a great start. Brugman's picked up a few positions there, with Matty Orban in 11th. Jeff Dobbin there, he is in 12th. With Nyring, that's a great run for him. He really is strong all the way through this race. 14th is Anders Nielsen. He'd be very pleased with that horse as well. He's dragged himself up. I think he started 25th, 25th and 26th here in Charles Stenbeck there. So 11 positions gained for Nielsen at the moment. 15th is JIG. Mid-pack on his return to Touring Pro Series. 16th is Tommy Oyala. He's been off the track at least twice, I believe. So he'll be pretty pleased with that. Simon Shepherd has made a pit stop, and he's now back in 27th as a result. Back to the front of the field. This is the story. Wiesenmüller and to right. Will they pit? Will they pit this lap? Will they put medium tyres on? Surely they must. Going to go this long, not to put hard tyres back on once again. Whole point of this long strategy, if you do pit, is to give that last stint short. And he's flashing him now once again. He shouldn't be doing that at all. So he's going into the pits. And not necessary. Tveit carries on. So, there goes Wiesenmüller into his stop. I just about got that car into the pit stop. Wow. Wow. And away he goes. What a stop that is. Well, Andy Bernard is just left there. Andy Bono, should I say, just left there looking, what on earth happened then? He was in, he was out. Oh, and Rob's fallen back in behind Ross McGregor. How much time has he lost here? He was headed to right. He was headed to right, heading into the pits. There is to right. 2.4 seconds ahead of Adrian Holm now then, so the gap is very small indeed. And to Tveit to have any chance of winning this race has to put mediums on. Even that may not be enough. He has to gain 10 seconds after this pit stop. It costs you 12. Look at that. Robert Wiesenmüller, 12 seconds behind. Cost you 12 seconds that pit stop. That means Tveit will have to go 2 seconds a lap faster than Adrian Holm in the final 6 laps to win this race. Looks like it's not going to be winning strategy. At the moment, looks like it's not going to be winning strategy either for Toby Davis. He's not able to keep up with Adrian Holm. Holm is just slowly but surely pulling away. Fantastic race this. Absolutely action-packed in the opening half of the race, and it's been an intriguing strategic battle ever since. There's the gap now. It looks less than 2.4 seconds to me. Not a whole lot less, maybe 1.5. It's just 2, look. So Tveit is driving as hard as he can, but if he goes into the pits now, it's all about will the last 6 laps of medium tyres. It probably will, but it's if you pit too late, you're giving yourself enough time to make up, enough laps to make up the time. Right, fully expecting to come into the pits here. Wiesenmüller gained 3/10 of a second on Tveit in that middle sector. He lost time to Horn and Davis. Davis is so good into that bus stop chicane. Look at that. And Tveit carries on. Wow. Is he going to the end of the race? He pits with 5 laps to go. He just has no chance. He puts mediums on. Wiesenmüller gained another 10th there. He lost time to Horn and Davis. He really needs to get his skates on this lap now. That his tyres are fully up to temperature. He's got 10 seconds to make up in 6 laps. Holm is so quick through Eau Rouge. Davies is so quick through bus stop chicane. It really is a fascinating battle. What can Tveit do? What's he thinking? What would you do if you were Eric Tveit? You stay out? Would you pit and put medium tyres on, which are at least a second lap quicker? Wiesemüller's got past Ross McGregor. That's key. Could have held him up a little bit, so why he wasn't gaining so much time, actually. Ross must be going to the end as well. He's got Eunice Rivio charging up to the back of him, so Rivio looks set for a 5th spot here, I would say. Looking back from the Rover of Eric de Veit. Rivio has got past Ross McGregor, but only briefly, look. It's important, by the way, Robert got ahead of Eunice Rivio. He wouldn't have wanted to spend a long time behind him. Eunice now then. He's got much fresher tyres than Ross McGregor. Ross is going to the end of the race here. They're very much likely to do so. Eunice quite able to make a move there. So difficult to pass in the Alfa Romeo. Should try and force now Ross McGregor into going now into this section here. Ross didn't go in too fast there and then drift wide allowing the cutback. He held it so that Eunice had nowhere to turn in. Eunice all over the curve as hard as he can, trying to get past Ross McGregor here. Robert Wiesemüller's not gaining enough. Oh, Toby Davis has gone past Adrian Holm, look at this! It's gone past Adrian Holm. He's through. Blanchimot's where it happened. Now, Toby Davis is in the driving seat. Maybe he was biding his time. Eric de Veit's not coming into the pits. Watch the replay quickly. We won't see it. We won't see it. Back to the live action. De Veit will make it difficult. Obviously, two fiery characters, these two. Davis and de Veit. They do not like each other. Part of rival teams or no teams in the VTM, but of course people are still members of organisations and they do not get on. Ice Cold in THR don't get on. De Veit and Davis don't get on, and I don't know why Davis is showing his nose there at Eau Rouge, because he knows how fast Adrian Holm is on Eau Rouge, and it's just allowed Adrian Holm to drift very straight past him. That was a key strategic error there from Toby Davis, I have to say. Because this is him poking his nose in and being slightly offline as a result. Look at the ground he gives up to Eric, and it's sideways as well slightly on the top of the hill. This allows Adrian to go through. So think about that a little bit more, I think. Still they're battling, and it's 4 laps to go. End of this lap, Davis down the inside, there's contact. A little bit of a nudge. Pushes Adrian, just to the side there. Adrian must be here still, yes, there he is. Pushes Toby back once again, and now the inside. Sorry, press replay button now instead of the camera button. And there goes Adrian Holm down the inside. Where is Adrian? There's contact and must be. There's a small deviation there from Toby. He's sideways. Oh, it's so close. What a shot as they come out of Puon. De Veit is still ahead. Check what happened here. Davis went round the outside and there was just a small bit of contact. And again, oh look at that small push from Adrian pushing Toby wide, but Toby so skilled in this area, so skilled at going sideways. He holds into that good position. Now Eric de Veit, it probably is the best strategy here actually, because Wiesemüller's not really gaining on these guys. Oh actually, I say that again, don't put 4 seconds at middle sector while they were battling. This is manna from heaven for Robert Wiesemüller right now. Because Eric de Veit is holding these guys up and costing them a sector at the moment. And Adrian Holm, once again, taking advantage of Toby Davis battling. But Toby holds the inside of the Adrian trying to hold the outside, but now he was thought better of it. What about it too? Oh, sideways! Oh, that was so close to being a big accident. So close to being a big accident. And that is where the Rover is vulnerable, it seems. Out of here also as well. Fastest lap from Robert Wiesemüller. Oh, and Toby had a run on de Veit there. And Adrian has given him a bit of a nudge. It's cost Toby that run. Wiesemüller, fastest lap of the race. He's finally pulled his finger out. We've been doing for the past 3 or 4 laps. But he smells a victory. 3 laps to go. In 2.7 seconds on the lead on the leader. In the final 2 seconds of that lap. And now Hulme has gone past Toby Davis once again out of Eau Rouge. That must be doing Toby Davis's head in. Wiesemüller's gained another second in that first sector. And will continue to gain as well. Toby's going to go on the inside here. Yeah, that's predictable. Oh, that's a big dive. He made it work. He made it work. Took a bit of cooperation from Hulme, but he made it work. What a race this is. It's a bit of a fantastic return for Virtual Touring. Mazalois he's hit the anti-cut. He's on the grass and he's back to third position. It's another position lost. Another position swap in this huge battle. Davis now his work cut out. In sectors where he's struggling, he just needs to keep up with the guys ahead of him. And then use that final sector. There is traffic ahead, look. There's traffic ahead. Oh, and Hulme has gone very deep indeed. These two are going to hand the win to Veit at this rate. Look at Matthews, there he is. All kinds of parps, get out of my way. Butcher there. Butcher, sorry, Davis in the same car, same kind of colour. blue Sierra. Palm out of the race. So is Andy Bonner. I think Andy Bonner might be watching Tony Matthews. He may warn Tony Matthews of the impending doom coming upon him. And he gets out of the way. Oh, it's not good, it's not good, it's not good! Oh, no, he's sideways. He's put him off. I don't know whether it was actually a major contributing factor, but it has not helped Adrian Hulme at all. What's the gap to Wiesemüller? 5.1 is getting another 0.6 in that middle sector. Hulme now is the one who's disadvantaged. And look at the gap that Eric Veit has got. It's a 1.6 second gap. He's loving it. 3 laps to go. This lap, lap 21 and lap 22. It's going to be an absolute nail-biter. Livio has cleaned up McGregor. Munro looks like he's going to gain. Oh, he's made a mistake in that final sector, but it looks like he's going to gain on McGregor also at some point and pass him. Brugman running out the 10 with Hennenberg. Tyler there still in 8th. There's the rest of the field for us. Still got 30 runners. Oh, Neiring has dropped back to 29. Not sure what's happened to him. He was running so well in 14th. There's Hulme is so quick down that first sector. So quick. Fantastic to watch. Remember, the Skyline has never run a race in Virtual Touring Masters history. Best he's ever done is a few podiums in the hands of Gregory Blue, season 3. Let's watch the gaps here. Wiesemüller, 4.3 seconds down. He's getting 1.6 in that first sector. He needs these guys to battle once more, I feel. Pushing his hardest though. Look at him, there he is. Right on cue, thank you, Robert. So Matthews has been lapped. Only one person is lapped down of the guys who are still running. That's good stuff. There's Neiring ahead though. Looks like he's going to be lapped next. It's been a disappointing race for him in the end. 36 people started, I believe. And we lost Tim Stroud, unfortunately. A crash or something like that. And we lost Van der Velde very early on. Butcher with his engine blowing after a spin early on. Here's to Veit. He's under pressure now from Toby. He can't hold down the outside of Stavrou. And that could be the win. That could be the win for Toby Davis. He's ahead of Eric Veit now. Veit finally gives up the lead of this race. Just to quickly round off, Beck, another crash for him. That's 2 crashes he had in the race. And Bernard, Andy Bonner and Lee Palmer have been there for unspecified reasons there, as you can see. Wiesemüller 3.5 seconds behind these guys now. He's tantalisingly close. Look at Toby. He'll fly out of here. He'll gain at least half a second. Look at that. And he knows he needs to be getting on with it. Because Adrian Hulme in this first sector is going to be very, very quick indeed. We should see Adrian go past Eric Veit in this first sector. Just needs a good run out of the Eau Rouge and Rajon complex. And Davis has fought back from a couple of setbacks here. Lost the lead of the race in the first half. Made a pit. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. What is that? completely uncalled for. Putting the track completely. Didn't look like he actually gained any time there, so we let him off. Give him the benefit of a doubt for that one. And Holm going straight past and almost actually passing Toby Davis. So Toby definitely didn't gain any time there. Good on Toby. Definitely let off the gas there. And Wiesenmuller 2.9 seconds behind the lead of the race now. Not like he'll do it. Might get third from Tveit. Going to be close. Remember, him and Tveit were very close before their pit stops. Nyring is all over Łukasz Demolin here, and he's gone past him, and now Łukasz is the next person to the left. He gets straight out of the way. That's good stuff. We'll flash him, say thank you, and to let him know that people are coming through. Oh, it's a bit awkward in behind there. Holmes had enough of back markers for today. Poor Matthews got stuck in a rock and a hard place where he got caught, and Holmes just with a little bit too much of berth, went wide and allowed Toby to go through. 0.3 the second was the gap after the first sector. Looks like Toby's pulled that gap a little bit in the middle sector. Holmes got one lap after this to gain on him. There's Wiesenmuller. Tveit is loving this. He's right in the slipstream of Adrian Holm, which is helping him stay ahead of Wiesenmuller. Though Tveit, his strategy is paying off. Wiesenmuller's lost lots of time in that middle sector. 0.7 of a second to Toby Davis, and he shouldn't be losing any time at all really in that middle sector when he's on medium time. I realise that they're now 6 laps old. They should at least be on a par with, I thought there was a shadow there on the right hand side, but it's actually poor Sebastian Rosemar getting out of the way. His car looks battered and bruised. Lots of lap traffic in the final few laps here, giving a few heart flutters, I'm sure, to the lead drivers. They can do without it. Nyring is staying ahead of the leader here. He may have had to pit late on. Decided to put medium tyres on. That's helping him. So, oh, where's he gone? Where has Nyring gone? That is incredible. It just disappeared off the... Oh, hello. Where is he? This is... What on earth has happened here? Oh, look at this. He's gone straight. I missed that. Straight into the barrier. That is a big hit. Oh, poor Klaus now. Oh, and he's lost a wheel. Lost a wheel for sure. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, he's actually stuck in the road where it's not actually able to get out of that bit of road. It's not drivable. He's actually driven straight on there into a piece of road you can't drive on. So that's the end of the now race, unfortunately. Just digging himself in even more here. Back to the front of the field. Oh, if we actually find the front of the field. Well, we'll replay that. I do apologise. That is Pedro Amaral getting out of the way of the drivers as well. And here is Toby Davis. This is the final lap of the race. He's got a comfortable margin over Adrian Holm. And there should be Toby Davis's win. Makes his way around Pouon for the final time. Final chicane for the final time. Now Stavilo for the final. Oh, that's a big twitch. What are you doing that, Toby? Oh, now Stavilo for the final time. And this will be Toby Davis's 21st career win in the Touring Pro Series. He's been a long time in the Touring Pro Series. Has one championship to his name. Runners up as well. In all kinds of categories. Clios, BTM, V8 Supercars, you name it, Toby Davis has been good at it. And he's going to win the first race of the Virtual Touring Masters Classic season. What a fantastic race we have seen here today. Exhilarating stuff. Davis takes the win. He beats his THR teammate Adrian Holm by just a 1.1 second margin. With Tveit in third, his strategy really paid off in the end. Almost some feisty racing. Robert Wiesenmuller comes around in 4th spot. He'll be pleased with that, in fact. As will Eunice Rybio with his 5th spot, words out correctly. And Ross McGregor is going to finish in 7th. Rasmus Salo comes across the line in 8th spot. He'll be looking for a little bit more in the rest of the races. Suzuka will not suit his car though. We're just waiting for the rest of the cars to come through. There is Eunice Rybio still doing donuts. 9th, Lars Brugman. 10th is Peter Henneberg. Should see Matty Orban and Jeff. Yes, there they come through. Oh, look at that. Matty Orban just holding off Jeff Dobbing there. Look at the burnout there from Matty Orban. That was beautiful. Look at the lines he's leaving. That's 11 out of 10 there from Matty Orban. Tommy Oyara came 13th. Well done to him because he had all kinds of issues. 14th for Anders Nielsen. That's a great effort after qualifying back in 25th. 15th for JIG. 16th for Mervold. 17th there for Ferreira. Obviously battles all the way through the field here. 18th Juha Tuunainen. He dropped back ever so slightly from his qualifying, which I believe was in 12th spot or something like that. Anyway, but he's dropped down and he comes across the line there in 18th spot. Pink Power in 16th, of course. Ferreira in the 635. He's easily beating the other 635 of Łukasz Demlin. 19th spot to Jonathan Aukerklint in the Ford Mustang, the only Mustang in the race apart from Tim Straub, who didn't actually manage to start the race, unfortunately. And 20th spot, we're just waiting for here now. We'll go through a quick break and get some driver interviews. '20th spot there, Reese Gardner comes across the line. He had all kinds of issues. His car looked very second-hand indeed, but he did manage to finish the race. So we'll go to a quick break here, and then we'll get some reaction from the drivers from this fantastic spectacle racing we saw here. Back in a second.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Okay, here we are now back with the Virtual Touring Masters. That was the opening round of the season from Spa-Francorchamps, and if that is a taste of what is to come, we are in for an absolute treat this season. It's an absolute feast of racing out there. I could dine in it all night long. And we are joined by the drivers from that fantastic race now then, and it's only fitting we start off with the race winner and the pole sitter here today. It might sound like that was a simple race, pole to win, but Toby Davis, what a struggle in a race that was.
Didn't make it easy, did we? I have to say that's the most fun I've had in absolutely ages in sim racing, and not because I won, but because of the battles with myself and Adrian. It was unbelievably close between us two, and then of course Eric didn't pit, and where did that come from? Then we had to get by him, and that wasn't easy. I love these cars. I'm so glad they're back.
And well, it was a fantastic return to racing for the Virtual Touring Masters. I mean, just talk us through. I mean, there's so many different strengths of the cars throughout the race. How were you managing that?
The Nissan's obviously significantly quicker in a straight line than the Sierra, so plays into its hand in the first sector, and that's where I just couldn't quite defend. The straight was just too long, but it's I'm sweating, absolutely sweating. It's stunning stuff, and yeah. Oh, and by the way, massive PB in practice. By the way, never thought I'd be able to get a 30.0 on softs here, but yeah.
Fantastic stuff, and we saw you at the end of your first stint. Boy, were you pushing that car sideways.
Yeah, the tyres are gone. I was trying to work out whether I pit on the set. I was going to do whatever Adrian didn't, if that makes sense. So I saw him pitting, I thought, no, I'm going to stay out, try and save the tyres for the end. Hopefully he gets caught up in traffic, and then he jumped me in the stop, so gutted about that. But
and then with a few laps to go at the end of the race, you're still behind Adrian by 0.7 of a second. At this point, you're still thinking, yeah, Tvite's going to pit with maybe 6 laps to go, put some mediums on, maybe got off the back of us, probably not. But it seemed like you weren't really in range with Adrian. I mean, you were staying there the entire time within a second, but you weren't really within range. Were you just biding your time, or was it really difficult to keep up with Adrian at that point?
I realised very, very quickly that Adrian probably had slightly faster race pace, even though I did a decent lap for the fastest lap. I think he had slightly better pace over the whole stint. So I figured him and Eric would get caught up, and I didn't want to get too caught up in their battles. As it was a back marker that cost Adrian the position. So. But it was going to be have to be something along those lines. I was never going to be able to overtake him on track, you know.
Well, there was plenty of passing and repassing there, I would have to say. I mean, Tony was caught between a rock and a hard place there. Just
of course he was, yeah. No, I'm not saying it's his fault. It's that's what caused it.
This racing, isn't it? But congratulations, Toby.
Thank you.
I did that whole broadcast by myself, and it was hard work. Probably harder work than you guys in the car.
Yeah.
It was incredible stuff. Really was. Fantastic show from yourself and from Adrian as well. Adrian, you came across the line in second spot, so close to that win, but you looked like you really enjoyed yourself out there.
Oh, for sure I did. You did this on your own. I'm surprised you still have a voice left. Because if I would have been commentating, I would have lost it halfway, I reckon. That was... Yeah, great racing. Most fun I've had in a long time for me as well. Happy with second. I didn't think I would end up in second when just a couple of days prior I was good second off the race pace, but worked out in the end.
It did. And what were the crucial not chapters? What's the word? Moments of the race for you?
I couldn't get out of turn 1 good enough. So when I actually caught up to Eric, I couldn't get past him because I just didn't get the power down. And yeah, I had a slightly lower tire wear, but as Skyline is heavier, so it's harder to stop it into the corners as well. So that's where I really lost out on time, I reckon.
And just talk us through what was going through your mind when you caught Tony right on the apex of Blanchemont. It was difficult.
Don't know what corner that is. Sorry.
Well, you caught Tony and you got passed by Toby. Then you know that the fast left-hander around the back of the circuit before bus stop chicane.
Yeah.
The racing lab doesn't know who Blanchemont is. Everybody, it's an endangered species. This.
I just got on the grass a bit, and yeah, I was looking too much at Eric and just locked up on the grass, went wide. From then on, really had to try and fight back. Got back eventually, and yeah, then the back marker, and you know, these things happen. It's racing, but you know, onwards and upwards.
Yeah, that's fantastic stuff from yourself, Adrian. It's a great start to the season, of course, isn't it? You've got plenty of rounds to go, plenty of different tracks, and look forward to your battling later in the season as well. Well done to you. Now we're going to go and talk to... Oh, he's actually left. I was going to talk to Eric de Veit, but he's actually left the booth at the moment. Who else is in here? Robert Wiesenmuller, who you did the old 15 laps and 7 laps of medium strategy, I believe, Rob.
Yeah, I was on hard tires in the first stint, and I decided to push that stint to the maximum, and then just try to go on mediums, try to gain some time in the end.
I mean, it almost worked, but you just didn't quite have the pace in the opening couple of laps on those mediums, it seemed.
Oh, on the mediums, I think it was okay in the first opening laps, since I still set the fastest lap of the race, so I reckon it was pretty good.
Yeah, that was third or fourth lap he did that. It was the first couple of laps, it seemed like you weren't really gaining much time. It was a few tenths rather than a second, wasn't it?
I had to get past McGregor.
That's true.
Who was on a no-stop, and that probably cost me a bit of time. But that was not the reason. I think the reason was in the beginning of the race, I had to battle with Jonas. And sometimes I had to take a defensive line and stuff like that in the twisty section of the track. And that gave me pretty large gap back to Adrian and Toby. Yeah. So my tires were pretty good on the first stint. And I was sure I could do a hard easily. But I felt like I have to do something different to just be within a shot of getting onto the podium. And not stopping was not possible because the tires would drop off too much, and I didn't even take enough fuel to do that. So I just decided, okay, I'll do the stint very long on the hards until it's really not possible anymore, and then I just push it on mediums. And yeah, I came pretty close. You know, I'm I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how close I was here and how competitive I was.
It was an excellent run through the field. I was looking at the time, and then just at the penultimate lap, it just seemed the tyres seemed to let go a little bit. He lost time again as Toby got past Eric, but it was a great effort nonetheless, and we're looking forward to you and the rest of the season as well, Rob. It was a fantastic battle with you and Rivio and Tavide as well. I mean, just quick question as well about Tavide. Did you two work together from around about lap 5 up until about lap 15? You were very close with not very much passing.
Well, I didn't really do anything to work together with him. We had a small accident before, and just a little bit of contact, nothing big, and he let me back through. And from then on, he just never really tried to make a move again until just at the end of my stint. So I was just driving the racing line the whole time, pretty much. Maybe he wanted to work together with me, but it helped me a lot, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it helped both of you in the end, because obviously Eric did the non-stop in the race. I have no idea where that came from, but it's not here to ask, unfortunately. The power's gone in his house, apparently. So, unfortunately, can't speak to him. So, who else can we speak to here? Who had an eventful race? John, quick talk to John Monroe. Your first foray in these cars, apart from the odd excursion at Mid-Ohio, I believe, wasn't it, in the Ford Sierra? How did you find your race went? You up in the top 6 pretty much most of the race.
Yeah, I mean, it was great fun. Is the first thing I'll say. It was fantastic to have the lead back, and really enjoyed myself. I had a fantastic race with a lot of guys, especially Eunice. I had a great battle with him throughout. But yeah, pretty much went as expected. Really, was hoping for a top 6, but slightly kind of nervous having my recent form in the races. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to keep the Skyline on 4 wheels basically, and keep the tyres in check, and wasn't quite sure in the strategy. But in the end, just went for the 2 hard stints and seemed to work okay, and managed to survive a couple of hairy moments up on 2 wheels. So got to the end, and all in all, I mean, I'm delighted with the qualifying, and I'm satisfied with the result, if not delighted.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be it's a good base for the rest of the season, John. I mean, any particular track you're looking forward to on the calendar? Salzburg, perhaps.
Salzburg Ring, if you do the kind honour in removing the first chicane, that would be lovely. But no, I mean, the car is going to be terrible at a few tracks. I think likes of Trois-Rivières and Laguna Seca might not suit us too much, but what goes around comes around, as I was saying earlier. So I mean, I really enjoyed Spa, and hopefully I'll be able to enjoy the other tracks just as much. But fantastic mod, and happy to be near the front.
Fantastic stuff, John. Well done. And I want to speak to Mate now also as well. Mate, we didn't see too much of you in the race, really. We saw you in a few battles, but you plodded away and got yourself a good result in the end.
Yeah, I had a little battle with Jeff. It was quite entertaining and clean and fair. But most of the time I was fighting against the time, but try to keep the car on the track. But I think 11th place is quite good with an M3.
Well done to you, and we look forward for you to go maybe improve at Suzuka as well. Bit of a twistier track, that one, so it's going to be a fantastic race for yourself. And Vitus Park as well, another handling track there for you guys. Reese Gardner with a quick question to you, Reese. What on earth happened to make your car look so second-hand?
Did you not catch my trip into the barriers at the exit of Radion?
No, we did not. I surmised that it was something like that, but it was a heavy dent.
Yeah, quite a heavy dent. I actually didn't see that until the end of the race when I exited, and I thought, oh, that's a pretty sizable dent in the size of my car. It's a miracle I managed to do what I did considering that. But yeah, I think driving through, on the straights, of course, the Holden has the massive advantage, but I just wasn't able to catch up to a lot of the people in front of me in time for Sector 2, which is where it's just a case of trying to make my car as wide as possible. But yeah, the pressure got to me, and I had a bit of an oversteer moment at the top of the hill into the barriers, and I thought, hey, I'll just fix the damage, whack some hard tires on, and see what happens. And I managed to last to the end, I suppose.
Well, you got yourself some points in the end. You are racing in the middle of the night also as well, so we're very, very glad to have you in the series race, and we hope for more success. Suzuka, it's surprisingly okay for the Holden, from what I remember, and you may find as well Vitus Park's got a few straights on it, but then we get to Pukekohe, you're going to be laughing, so I'm sure you're looking forward to that particular track.
Yeah.
So well done to you for recovering from that. You got yourself some points in the end, which is always important, and you're not far off Rasmus's pace actually in the Holden either, quite frankly. So well done to you. So let's go quickly. Last thing, we'll get a quick word from Tony. And Tony, I mean, obviously you had to do nothing about it, but what was going through your mind is that the leaders bared down in you into Blanchimont.
I just didn't know where to go. I thought, do I hold off? How many more behind? You know, it's just a scary moment.
It is. It was a bit of a nightmare.
But, I was on medium tyres and didn't stop, so that was a big mistake. So.
Yeah. Oh, Tony, I spoke about that actually. Yeah. Somebody did the whole race on the mediums, and I went, oh, only a fool would do that. And yes, and here we are with Tony. Poor Tony.
I'll make amends in the next one.
Yes, I'm sure you will. Suzuka coming up next, which Twisted Bits, be good stuff for you. And you had a good battle with Andy Bonner. What happened to Andy in the end? Did he ended up DNFing?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he had a little bit of an off there.
Bit of an off, okay. Well, thank you to all the drivers today. Royally entertained us. I've really enjoyed myself in the commentary booth here, and hopefully the next race will be just as exciting. I'm sure it will be, because it was very exciting in season 2 at Suzuka, and we're looking, and I think Toby's looking for another strong result. Adrian will be there also as well, of course. Robert and Eric Tveit. It could be a rover track, that one. You never know. And but we're coming back in 2 weeks' time, same time in 2 weeks. And as you can see from the calendar here, if I just bring it up for you. Oh, if I actually press the button. There we go. There we are, 9th of July from 8 o'clock. Suzuka, another 150-kilometre race. And we'll have pit stops and crashes galore. I'm sure, well, not many crashes, hopefully, but a few crashes. It always spices things up. Thank you for watching today. Thank you to all of our sponsors as well, all of our supporters and partners. And take it easy.